All right, welcome to this video series on the North and South nodes. In this video, we are going to talk about if you have your North node in the 5th house or Leo, which would mean your South node is in the 11th house or Aquarius. So this is, in my opinion, the most important part of astrology and of the birth chart is the nodes, not because it necessarily represents a large part of our personality like the sun sign or moon sign, but because it really shows the undercurrent to all of our life experiences. It helps us make essentially choices regarding whatever is going on in our life. The way it feels is it's usually a push and pull, like do I go in this direction or do I go in that direction? And by becoming aware of both, it really helps us make choices along the journey. And all in all, just bring more balance back to whatever the area is that we're working with at that time, whether it's home, relationships, career, whatever it might be about there with that. All right, so down in the comment section, there is a birth chart calculator, which shows the nodes for you. So if you don't know your house and sign placement of your nodes, do check that out. Now it is using the actual size of the constellation, so you will notice a lot of your signs are different from mainstream astrology, but that chart is the most accurate in my opinion. Now the North node is going to look like the N horseshoe. It's a horseshoe, it's shaped like the N. That's the North node, and then the South node is going to be the U-shaped horseshoe. So again, this video is if you have that North node in the 5th house or Leo, and so that South node would be in the 11th house or Aquarius, depending on if you're watching this for your house or your sign. And I do recommend watching them for your house primarily. You will find that the house is the most accurate in terms of your nodes, but the sign is also helpful as well. All right, so let's go and start with this. So this undercurrent, these life experiences, let's start with the South node. The South node represents essentially the past energy, or if you believe in past lives, the past life energy. It's where we're coming from into this life. So the South node, let's just say in past life, there was likely a lot of emphasis for you on more collective matters. Maybe you're focused more in terms of contribution. Maybe you're a part of a community, or something that it was something greater than yourself that you contributed to. And it was very other-oriented or very us-oriented or group-oriented or collectively oriented. And a lot of it was likely very idealistic. You know, it's about what is the future ideals we have for humanity or for the world at large or for the community. So, for example, in the past life, you may have been maybe a humanitarian, or maybe you were someone who helped a lot of people in some way. Maybe it wasn't directly, maybe you were an inventor or a scientist that created something for humanity in some way. So whatever it is though, again, not to be taken literally, the important thing is that now in this life, your life path is about bringing balance back to the sector. In other words, what you'll notice is that there's this oscillation with this area. One side of you might be very much feeling like that's missing, the contribution, the other orientation. And so you might be seeking that out, pulled towards it. But then another side of you avoiding it completely and not wanting maybe anything to do with the group or, these future ideals, and to go exclusively into your own passions and things, which we'll talk about. But the oscillation is here, the push and pull involving this. So your life path is essentially about bringing balance back to your contributing side, or your group-related side, your future ideal-related side or aspects of life. And so there's sort of a twofold process of doing this. One is to practice non-attachment to these things. It's arguably maybe the most important side to this, because it's a spiritual component. Again, it's going to help free you up, because your default pattern is to go to the we, right? What can I do to contribute, or, feeling like something's missing maybe with that. So practicing non-attachment when it comes to these ideals, whether they're future ideals for your community or for the world at large, or just for yourself, your own future hopes and wishes maybe. So non-attachment to your ideals. And then the other side to it is to learn about and make mistakes with when it comes to your self-expression. This is the North node. Because see, now in this life is taking you into this area to learn about what you're passionate about, what sparks that inner flame? What do you enjoy, right? This is very much, it's fire, it's you. It's not so much about the community and the collective. This is more about what are you passionate about, finding mediums of self-expression, cultivating things that you might consider hobbies, interests, creative, or again, the things that you're passionate about, and expressing yourself. Because this is exactly what your contributing side needs. This is exactly what your future ideals need, is for you to develop more of that self-expression and passion from what's, igniting your inner flame. So the other side to the equation is just to learn about and make mistakes with your self-expression. Try new things with it. Explore your passions. Develop this side of yourself, right? It's all very new. It's supposed to be experimental. Life is supporting you in making mistakes with it to learn about it, to learn more about yourself. Learn more about, again, what ignites that passion or what your passions are, or to express yourself and to get in that playful, lighthearted, creative energy. Because it's all of this fire energy is exactly what your ideals need. For example, our communities need us to be having fun, expressing ourselves and cultivating our passions. That's really what our friends need, our communities need, the world needs. And then even in terms of your own future ideals, in order to cultivate your future aspirations, they need to be in alignment with what you're passionate about, inspires you, and etc. So this life isn't just about the passion and the self-expression, because if you go into just that, you'll likely find that to be unfulfilling. It's that this life is about exploring and learning about your self-expression and your creative side and your passions, because that's exactly what your ideals need and the community needs, because you're feeding in all of this energy, this life force, this prana, the self-expression into that area, into the ideals, into the, maybe other oriented or contributing stuff that is natural to you. So this is the twofold process. One is being non-attached to the ideals, future ideals, and then the other one is to learn about and explore the self-expression, not as an end in and of itself, but to feed back into, to help again bring balance back to that idealistic aspect of yourself. This is where you're coming from. This is rooted in who you are, right? And again, a lot of your life experiences will be this push and pull on the spectrum. Do I do this thing that's more ideal, more towards my ideals or the other orientation of the group? Or do I make this choice that is more about what I enjoy, my passions, my creative? Now, neither is the answer. Ultimately, this is about bringing health and balance back. And so it's just that the process of doing that will be to practice non-attachment to the ideals and to learn about, make mistakes with, and explore your self-expression and the cultivation of whatever it is you're passionate about in this life. Okay, and so all of that then feeds back into those ideals, because that's exactly what they need. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much it with this nodal placement. Now, obviously, it's way more complex and dynamic for each of you. So on the page here is a 20% discount for birth chart readings if you do want to dive deep to see what are the rulers with these nodes. Look at obviously your other planets in your birth chart and seeing how your overall personality ties into this. So do check that out. But yeah, I hope this is helpful, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.